Have been staged on this ground, and Wales have been involved in them all. International Rugby League in Britain comes out of a 2-year hibernation as emerging England take on Wales. Two proud nations will battle it out at the AutoQuest Stadium. Well, the coin toss always important, of course, for the captains of both sides. Steve Molloy, captain of England, Kelvin Skerritt in red, captain of Wales. Looks like the Welsh have won the toss. England then will kick off. And this is the emerging England side that Andy Goodway has named. The fullback is Gary Broadbent. The three-quarters, Paul Sterling, Nathan McAvoy, Keith Senior and Francis Cummins. The half-back partnership of Graham Holroyd and Sean Long. And up front, it's Steve Molloy, the captain, Paul Rowley, the hooker, and Darren Fleary. Simon Horton and Andy Hay. Lee Gilmore of Wigan is the loose forward. And on the bench, Mark Hilton, Paul Davidson, Paul Johnson and Danny Orr. The coach is Andy Goodway. Now the Welsh side. And Paul Aitchison is their full-back. Three-quarter line of Jason Critchley, Damien Gibson, Dio Powell and Anthony Sullivan. Yestin Harris and Lee Breers at half-back. Up front, it's Kelvin Skerritt, the skipper, Kieran Cunningham, hooker, and Neil Cowie. Dean Busby and Richard Ayres comes back from the First Division with Rochdale to play International Rugby League, and Carl Hammond is the loose forward. And on the substitutes bench for Wales, Gareth Stevens, Martin Hall, Roland Phillips and Martin Pearson. The coach is Clive Griffiths. Well, the players now out on the field, but this was the scene in the dressing rooms just a few moments ago. I mentioned right at the top of the programme that national pride is at stake. Many of these Welshmen are adopted Welshmen, but my word, they want to put one over on the old enemy, the English. And they have the three lions on their chest this afternoon, and they will be taking the English pride into this game as well. Such passion amongst the Welsh and such pride opposite for the English. An emerging English squad, of course, and after 2 years in the wilderness, these two nations make their return. Match referee is John Connolly, and he is just spelling out his last-second instructions to the players of both sides. Match announcer going through the English team still as Graham Holroyd gets this game underway. Steve-O, whether it be tiddlywinks, darts, or International Rugby League, the national pride of these two nations is there for all to see.
That there is little doubt, and you'll see that in the opening minutes, I'm sure, especially from the forward. The Welsh side, of course, they came here very confident. I spoke to the winger Jason Critchley just before the match, and he said that the Welsh boys were really up for this one, and I'm sure the English will match them all the way.
Well, they have the first use of the football, and this is Carl Hammond of St Helens, straight into the chest of Steve Molloy of the Sheffield Eagles, but tackled out of it by Molloy and Fleary. Yestin Harris, certainly the form player of Super League this year, just kicks the ball forward. Broadbent picks it up, but a great chase from Hammond and Cunningham, and wonderful spirit early on here from the Welsh. A great push back into the 10-metre zone.
Well, that didn't surprise me, and the Welsh, of course, they know that there's quite a lot of those youngsters on the England side, and they'll be trying to upset them. If you look at speed out wide, you'd have to say that the English side would just shade it, and also in the forwards, but this Welsh spirit always comes to the fore.
Fleary into the chest of Cowie and also Kieran Cunningham. Holroyd with the left-footed kick downfield. Underneath it, the St Helens fullback, Paul Aitchison.
Well, that wasn't the best kick there by the standoff Graham Holroyd. Lots expected of him today. And Aitchison had all the time in the world. Good positioning, though, by the Welsh fullback.
Clive Griffiths, the Welsh international coach, he has been in charge of the Welsh team since their rebirth in 1991. His record since then, 9 victories, 3 defeats. He got them to the World Cup semi-final in 1995. He won the European Championship in 1995 also, when they beat England and France. Now these days coaching London Welsh in rugby union full-time. Andy Goodway, his opposite number, is assistant coach to John Money at Wigan, of course, and he's watching his team defend that run from Iestyn Harris. Horton was the man who wrestled Harris to the floor. Crossfield kick from Breers is a beauty, but it's well claimed on that far side. Critchley is disputing it, but I think Cummins has got it.
Tremendous take there by Francis Cummins. It was a beautiful kick over from Lee Breers. The pressure showing there, but he was up to it. Was Francis Cummins having a wonderful season. But it just shows you the tactics of the Welsh side. Lee Breers and Iestyn Harris both capable at the short kicking game.
Malloy, English captain, tangling with Neil Cowie and Carl Hammond. Referee John Connolly shouting to the players, telling them to get off the grounded player. Lovely break though from Long. Sean Long, he's done that so often for St Helens. Long, one of 7 former Widnes players back on this ground. And that really does mirror the fact that despite the fact that Widnes are in the first division these days, there is still a great deal of talent in this area, Steve-O.
Certainly is, and you saw there that the speed off the mark for the little halfback, Sean Long. He wants him to put his shirt back on. Pretty difficult to play the football when it's encompassed like that. A bit of a treat for the female fans. Pretty solid torso of the winger, Anthony Sullivan.
Richie Ayres, another former Widnes player here, now with bottom of the first division Rochdale. Bit of a step up for him. It isn't a step up though for Kelvin Skerritt. Halifax, of course, Welsh captain, emulating his uncle Trevor Skerritt, who captained Wales against England. Cowie with the run over the halfway line, met by Andy Hay. Now Hammond. Good tackle by Keith Senior. Quick play, the balls are what's necessary. That was Damien Gibson at dummy half. Lovely chip over the top from Harris. He was tripped then by Fleary. I'm convinced that Fleary stuck out a boot and tripped Iestyn Harris.
Well, it appeared that way, but John Connolly wouldn't have anything of it. The official just turned it down. Swinging arm there from Skerritt. And it was Fleary definitely just lunged with that leg. Swinging arm also from Lee Breers. Well, the Welsh side, they mean business. This is not going to be an afternoon stroll in the park.
Fleary did well though. He released that pass to the hooker Rowley, who was family Gilmore, and what a good piece of defence from Paul Aitchison. As it turned out, Gilmore almost was bundled into touch, but somehow he stayed in the field of play. Sterling dummy half the winger. He finds Sean Long, a long pass to Holroyd, then further wide it goes to Horton. Horton, oh, that's a pass to nobody. Cummins picks it up though, but England have gone back 10 or 15 metres there.
Nice build-up though by the English. Beautiful run by the loose forward Lee Gilmore.
Swinging arm. Horton's head went back. Hammond picked out by referee John Connolly.
Well, I'm not so sure that it was anything more than a grab. But this is a tackle by the fullback Aitchison. Did well, did Lee Gilmore, to keep himself away from the touchline, but again we saw the experience of the Welsh fullback getting himself into a good position. It was a beautiful break though by the loose forward Gilmore. Graham Holroyd, a lot depends on him how he plays tonight, especially his combination with the little halfback Sean Long.
Well, it's a big step up for Graham Holroyd also this, because he hasn't played fully fledged international football before. 1994 Academy tourist, of course. Holroyd, regular kicker prior to the arrival of Iestyn Harris at Headingley. Just 3 goals so far this season. More than 900 points for Leeds though in his career. Graham Holroyd with the first opportunity for points on the board in this international. And he's found his mark without too much difficulty. And so emerging England lead by 2-0 here at the AutoQuest Stadium in Widnes.
Surely the young superstar of Super League this season. That's the loose forward Lee Gilmore. What a utility player he is, but the fullback Aitchison was not going to be kidded with a dummy. Shouts from the English fans.
Holroyd restarts then. Underneath it was Harris, and he gives it immediately to Cowie, who runs straight towards Andy Hay. Here's Skerritt, And it was a little high with Sean Long, and what's more, they're all offside, England.
Over the top of the shoulders, going for the big fella, Kelvin Skerritt. Skerritt looked a little bit baffled to think that such a little fella like Sean Long went for him, but you can see that they weren't squared up to play the ball, and Fleary was well and truly offside.
Cowie. Fleary in there quickly, Rowley, and also Simon Horton. Now Lee Breers switches the angle. That's a good ball, and an even better ball inside to Damien Gibson, who's collared there by Andy Hay. Damien Gibson, the Australian from Halifax, who is in this Welsh side by descent. And this now is Aitchison. Good ball back on the inside. That's a wonderful try there for Dio Powell. That's a great try for the Welsh. Lovely approach play, lovely ball back on the inside. The Welsh Lion Dragon is rampant.
Beautiful try by the big centre. Dio Powell really is in tremendous form. He's certainly one of the in-form centres in Super League, and it was a beautiful pass on the inside. Look at that. The fullback dragged the defence across, and Powell knew when to just come into the action. Watch for Aitchison now. Dummy runner, then out wide, back on the inside. Super stuff there. He took Nathan McAvoy out on towards the touchline, and Powell came back on the inside. Notice how McAvoy will go across, taking the fullback. There he goes, back on the inside. No one fielding quick enough. Not even Lee Gilmore could stop that man.
Dio Powell winning his third Welsh cap 4 years after winning the first two. And getting over for the first try of the afternoon for the Welsh. Matters to be improved maybe now by Iestyn Harris. Here is the regular goal kicker for Leeds. Harris with 89 Super League goals to his credit. Making his 9th appearance for his country. That's a great kick from Harris. No problems there. Wales have come back from that penalty setback. They lead 6-2.
Slow sliding defence, you can see there in the centre of the field, but look how he just sucks McAvoy across. Perfect pass, perfect timing from the big centre. That's an exceptional 4-pointer by Dio Powell. As I mentioned before, he's in just tremendous form.
So Fleary now will run it back for the English, who will look to respond quickly. 10 minutes of the international gone here at the AutoQuest Stadium in Widnes. Magnificent new stadium in this town. The end of the stadium towards our left, from where England are now running, will be completed in the near future. Work will start shortly, and it will be a credit to Widnes then, Steve-O, this ground.
Certainly is, and probably the sign of the times that other clubs are trying to follow. We said for many years this is the reason why the penalty is being given to England. Steve Malloy not being allowed to play the football by the other prop forward, Neil Cowie. And it is a fine stadium. Got a great view of the action.
Malloy dropped to the ground. There it is, the AutoQuest Stadium. Great feeling that what a pity they didn't have the stadium when they had their great side here that won the World Club Championship in 1989.
Well, one of the stalwart Widnes fans said to me as we were coming across the car park, he said that it's a shame that this stadium arrived 12 years too late.
This now is Long. What a beautiful bit of play from Sean Long. He goes round Aitchison almost, but Aitchison did well. He just ankle tapped him, and the attack is stopped. But Critchley is lying all over Long. This is the last tackle. Enterprising play from Long. Will it get its reward? Senior flicks the ball back. The movement continues. Cummins. Crossfield kick. Looking for Sterling. That touched a Welsh hand. It might be 6 to go. Sterling might need another set of 6. Sullivan gets on top of the grounded play, and it is 6 to go. It's Broadbent who has chimed in to the line there. This now is Horton. Big opportunity then for England here.
Beautiful play though to set it up. Sean Long, little kick over the top, but I'm afraid the support play was a bit suspect. England look a little bit rusty, of course. Not many training sessions together on both sides.
Rowley takes over from Fleary, gives it to Long. Long then wider to Holroyd. Further wide it goes. Oh, no one there for the pass back on the inside from McAvoy. Lucky that England retained possession there, courtesy of Andy Hay. He is broad bent now. 8 metres short of the Welsh try line. Rowley. Out it goes to Holroyd. Dumped back into the arms of Hay by Senior. And England have responded within 3 minutes of that try.
Nothing wrong with that goal.
The Welsh complaining, but John Connolly saying nothing wrong with that try. The try given.
Beautiful play, especially by Senior, who knew that the passage through to the try line was blocked, so he twisted in the tackle, offloaded to the big second rower, Andy Hay. It all came from this wonderful individual effort by the halfback, Sean Long. And you can see there that there was no support. He had to go all on his own. Then came the big kick from Holroyd. And you can see the 6 more tackles there as Sullivan got the left hand to it. And I must say that Sterling did well. It wasn't the best pass on the inside, but Broadbent was very quick. But watch the quick hands from Senior. Holroyd out wide. Now Senior knew that he couldn't get through. Offloads back on the inside. Aitchison was wrong-footed. That's a fine riposte there from the English players.
And made even better by that excellent conversion from Graham Holroyd. 8 points to 6, the English lead.
Well, as I mentioned, it took a little bit of individual brilliance to get the emerging England side back into it. The high shot will show you there. Perfect pass from Holroyd. Good combination. I was complaining of the fact that the English side were pretty slow to support the ball carrier.
I think, Steve-O, the Welsh were complaining that that pass was forward. But John Connolly would have none of it. The pass from Holroyd.
Seemed all right for mine from the high shot. Well, quick thinking there by the big centre, Keith Senior. Big doubts about Senior's fitness for this match. I actually saw him in the hotel very early this morning, and he appeared to be limping.
Well, he, of course, played, didn't he, on Friday night in the Super League Roadshow game for Sheffield Eagles against Halifax. Good work there by Cunningham. He gives it to Dean Busby, but England offside. Well, Rowley, the man singled out by John Connolly.
Just over eagerness there, moving off the mark. Not to the liking of the referee, John Connolly. So I must say he's allowing both sides plenty of opportunity to keep this ball alive. He's ensuring that they get back the full 10.
Here's Skerritt. Those cheeks puffing out as they always do. Typical Kelvin Skerritt. Breers. Wider it goes to Yestin Harris. Takes them on. Fires the pass into the arms of Gibson. Back to Busby. Now Cunningham to take over. He gets away from Fleary. Hammond was the dummy half. He sold the dummy too. Lovely ball back to Cunningham. What a try! That had St Helens stamped all over it. Cunningham, the try scorer, created by a beautiful flick pass from Carl Hammond. And Kieran Cunningham. Well, this is end-to-end stuff, isn't it, this international? And the Welsh now regain the lead.
Great work by the loose forward, Carl Hammond. Through the dummy, offloaded, and you can see there that Darren Fleary, as soon as he was sucked in, there was a huge gap. From the dummy half position, very slow on the 1 and 2 markers. Andy Hay was well and truly beaten, and as soon as Fleary was sucked into attempting the tackle, Malloy came far too late. The big hit. There's a big fellow as Kieran Cunningham. Bit of extra beef this particular season. Outstanding flick pass. That's a good try.
Cunningham with the try then, the Welsh hooker, making his 6th international appearance for his country. Good try that, took some scoring. And now Yestin Harris will try and add the extra 2. Captain of Wales as a teenager, this fellow, for the World Nines in Fiji. Once upon a time when he was just 19 years of age. Harris gets 2 more. 12 points to 8. The Welsh lead here at the AutoQuest in Widnes.
First marker moving out. You can see that the second marker in the half circle was far too slow, and it allowed Hammond just half the meter space. Good support, good strength, but an outstanding offload. Super stuff. Took a big hit, still got the 4.
Good deep kick off into the corner. Holroyd underneath it, gives it to his Leeds teammate Fleary to try and drive the ball forward.
Ooh,
that was forward, a mile forward, and Andy Hay shows his disgust at the pass from Holroyd.
Well, they just lost the plot there, I'm afraid, Graham Holroyd. He was going to be the dummy runner, was the second rower Andy Hay. That ball really should have gone behind the second rower.
Harris gets a good ball back on the inside again to Dio Powell. He plays the ball to Aitchison. Here comes Cowie now. Good tackle though by Gary Broadbent, the Salford full-back. Here comes the Welsh skipper Skerrett. Good driving run from Skerrett towards the line.
I must say the Welsh are running the angles extremely well. It's creating a lot of problems in the English defence.
That went backwards over the shoulder of Breers, so it's play on, but Wales have for the moment lost the momentum. They might regain it now with Richie Ayres. All wrapped up though by Long and by Senior. Here's Breers, now Aitchison. Flicks it back to Gibson. Gibson having a great season with Halifax Blue Sox, and of course the Halifax team also going so well. Securing third spot. Drop goal attempt from Harris, but he's missed.
A little bit too casual there from the standoff Justin Harris. And you can see he was put under pressure by the prop forward Darren Fleary, who did very well then. But he took a lot of time.
Andy Hay going in bravely. Round the shoulder, those tackles, says John Connolly. Malloy, a big hit by Kieran Cunningham and Dean Busby. Rowley to Gilmore. Gilmore flicked it back to Rowley. He kept it going to Malloy. Malloy then to Holroyd.
Pretty strong defence from Wales as well. They really are scrambling back. To mention the fact, of course, that they're really fired up for it. Skerrett got a big hit on the full-back Broadbent.
Referee said it was on the shoulder. Well picked up by Critchley, well tackled by Senior. Good chase from the England centre. Here's Sullivan. Cunningham now, and this is Richie Ayres. Semi-half Cunningham. Breers back to Busby. Busby on then to Powell. Gets away from Fleary, can't get away from Horton. Although he's doing his best, and he flicks the pass. It's risky business. Rowley was in there looking for that.
That'll be back to 6. It hit an English hand.
It is. Referee wipes the tackle count down.
Well, it shows you what second effort can do for you, and Powell certainly did that. Hard man to put down. Good run and a good hit as well from Malloy.
Great run from the captain Skerrett. Here's Harris. Long ball out wide looking for Powell. Good tackling though by Nathan McAvoy.
Big contest between those two, McAvoy and the big centre Dio Powell. And Powell is causing a lot of problems.
Cunningham to Ayres.
Oh, he got injured there. Second rower Richard Ayres is in a lot of trouble. Couldn't play that ball. Good refereeing there, because he knew that Ayres was in a lot of pain. By the law, he should have penalised him, and this is the incident. Oh, that's a knee problem.
Breers, meanwhile, with a little chip over the top, and it's come up for Breers too. He tried to get Sullivan away. The ball bounced off Anthony Sullivan straight back to Breers, who was in front of the ball, so offside.
Well, we knew it was going to be a great contest between Lee Breers and Sean Long. Both have got great individual talents, and on this occasion it was little Welshman Breers.
Richard Ayres has a problem then. He limps towards the sideline, and the Welsh have made a change.
You can see that The weight of the right leg from Andy Hay was on the calf of Richard Ayres. I think he's going to try if he can run it out, but he's in a lot of pain.
England make a change also. Mark Hilton comes on to add a little bit of beef to the pack. Powell is withdrawn and Martin Pearson comes on.
Swinging arm there by Kelvin Skerritt, and then there was another one went at him. I think it was Hammond that had a second blow. This is the first one, crack, and then you saw there Carl Hammond miss. Well, we can do without this, and it was well spotted by the official John Connolly. That's a hit. Oh, just missed the miss. Thankfully for Hay.
Good, strong run. Terrific run from Mark Hilton. England in the danger zone, trailing by 4 points, looking for the 4 now. Pass out wide for Horton, but Harris shot out of the line. Having said that, Horton unloaded to Broadbent.
Another good tackle there by Dean Busby. He's working overtime in defence.
Here's Sean Long again. Holroyd to Horton, back to Malloy. Malloy straightens it up, takes on Aitchison, gets almost to the line and is just hauled back inches short. And the referee has seen a knock on.
Twisting in the tackle, the English skipper, Steve Malloy, running onto the football at pace. It was a good effort, this. See how he twists and tries to turn towards the line. And he just lost the football as Cowie's weight went over the top. Well, chance has gone missing by the English side.
That tackle was not completed on Jason Critchley. That's why he's able to get up and carry on a few more metres. Here's Martin Hall. And interference as Hall tried to get to his feet. Mark Hilton penalised by referee John Connolly.
To roll away as soon as the tackle is effected, and you can see there pushing Martin Hall to the ground, off balance, couldn't play the football. Good position by the official yet again. Lots expected, of course, big opportunity for all these players, but especially for that fella, Mark Hilton, already had a good run.
Ball came out, and the referee said he never shouted held.
Well, that should have been play on then if he didn't shout held.
Oh, it went backwards, didn't it?
Cowie definitely flicked it through his legs. That's why he was having the odd word to John Connolly. He's another player having a fine season, is Neil Cowie.
Yes, he's probably one of the form prop forwards in Super League. Here's the elder statesman of the emerging England side, Paul Sterling of Leeds. Outstanding season he has had over the past couple of years. 33 years of age, only turned pro though at 29.
Well, they're just losing the way a little bit, England, and it needs someone to sort of give them the spark, and I think they've got to look towards their hooker, Paul Rowley. Do a little bit more running from that dummy half position. He's not making the Welsh first and second markers work.
Good tackle on Lee Gilmore. Holroyd hoists the kick, but Paul Aitchison had dropped back. Easy for the Welsh fullback.
Well, again, we see a poor kick from the standoff Graham Holroyd. He won't be happy with that. And neither will their coach, Andy Goodway, be happy with the fact that even though he did kick straight down the throat of Paul Aitchison, the chase was non-existent.
Good tackle, lads. Away.
Match is settling itself down now after 26.5 minutes. We've had the flurry of points. Now these two nations battling it out. Andy Goodway thinks he has his 15 names as a dream team, if you like, for the Kiwi test, but there are obviously spots to be played for here for the international series in the autumn. Cowie just couldn't pick that up. Good ball from Harris, but Cowie just got a fingertip to it. It's a knock on.
Good half chance there. You could see that Harris had got through the tackle, just looping downwards, and the prop forward having difficulty bending the back. It wasn't the best pass for him, to be fair.
Long fed the scrum and then gave it to Broadbent. Senior.
That's what they need, more of that, runs from the dummy half.
Malloy.
England becoming a little bit stagnant, turning out into just a one-out football play.
Holroyd and Long running it around, and Gilmore, little half break. He's been quite quiet, the loose forward. 20-year-old, what a season he's having for Wigan in the Super League.
Play your ball and walk away.
They're watching him very, very closely indeed. This is Horton. The man of the match competition runs again, of course, and we want your view on 0891 33 33 13. And this time we have tickets to give away for the first test between Great Britain and New Zealand. That's on October the 31st, if memory serves. 31st of October, and it's at the McAlpine Stadium in Huddersfield. Don't ring that number now, by the way. Phillips has just come on and he led with the elbow there. He gets penalised by John Connolly. Don't use that number now, by the way, as we watch that incident again. We'll tell you when to ring that number during the second half.
Well, don't use that number now, and don't use that elbow again, I hope. Not the best entree. Roland Phillips leading with the right elbow. He's on report, and rightly so.
London Welsh Rugby Union.
Don't know what they'll do with him, though.
No.
They could suspend him for 6 months, but he doesn't play our code anymore. So what were they going to do about that?
Be interesting.
Does that mean he's got a license to KILL?
I wouldn't have thought so. He's subject to the rules and regulations of this code today, and of course anything that is decided, if anything needs deciding, will obviously affect him in the future. Broadbent tried to get the pass away, and England have got the penalty.
Taking the man out of play without the possession of the football. And you could see there it was Critchley that took Senior out.
Ball's in the sin bin. Referee has produced the yellow card. Critchley, I think, has said something out of turn.
Well, it certainly was a professional foul within striking distance of scoring. And he certainly sinned.
So he's binned. I thought maybe he had said something to John Connolly, but that wasn't the signal, certainly. It was for the tackle of the man without the ball. So Wales will battle on now for the remainder of this first half with only 12 men, and they've had problems with injuries as well. So let's find out what's been happening to the Welsh. Angela Powers is on the touchline.
We've got Dio Powell and we have Dio Powell and Richie Ayres with exactly the same injuries by the looks of it. Both got the left ankle strapped up, twisted ankles. One's going to come back on. Richie Ayres looks doubtful though to return.
Good defence by the Welsh though, and England are really finding it difficult to get through. Oh, good play there. The option was good, and Dean Busby was up for that one. He's working overtime, is the second rower.
Hilton, big hit on Gibson. England offside. The big hit by Hilton, wasted. Chatting now about the decision from John Connolly. That was talking back to the referee.
Little doubt about that, and you can see him moving off the mark, and there was 5 over on that blind side. Well, a bit of frustration coming into the play of the English, which will only play into the hands of the Welsh guys, who I must say have acquitted themselves exceptionally well in the first 30 minutes.
They have. Said it a little earlier, the game settled down. It's almost simmering at the moment. It was boiling earlier on, wasn't it, when we were getting tries either end, but suddenly now it's just gone a little bit quiet. Maybe Roland Phillips. Oh, how's that for another hit from Hilton?
Well, he's certainly putting himself about, and Phillips would have felt that.
Aitchison.
I must say the difference between the two sides is the fact that the Welsh are doing a lot more running off the ball. There you see the dummy runners back on the inside.
And there's Sullivan. And Sullivan does this so well for St Helens. Can he do it for the Welsh? Not on this occasion. Scrambling defence from England. Martin Hall, dummy half to Harris, floats the kick out, looking for Aitchison out wide. Cummins gets it. Good defence by Gibson.
Well, they obviously feel that Francis Cummins can't handle the bomb. That's the third time that they put him under pressure. It has been equal to it. It was a great take.
Here's Hilton. Sees this appearance for emerging England as a real bonus. He's had horrendous problems with injuries and was drafted into the England squad only after a handful of matches for Warrington, and was really looking forward to re-establishing himself as a possible future test prop forward. Rowley felt an elbow then, I think, from Martin Hall right on the top of the noggin.
Well, they attacked his face anyway. I think it was Cunningham that went into the face, and you'll find that I think it's Cunningham that goes across. Swinging arm by Hall, and has given him a right facial.
Well, Hall and Rowley are teammates at Halifax. This is Senior, into touch. Cummins had gone before him. Going to make the point, Steve-O. Hall and Rowley, teammates at Halifax and rivals for the hooker's role.
Makes no difference when you're out there in the hotbed of rugby league, and a bit of misunderstanding between the winger and the centre there, Keith Senior. We mentioned the fact that with a little bit more injection of life into the English play, and that was done there for the first time. It was the first real run from Rowley from the dummy half position. More of the same, please.
Aitchison taking on his teammate, Sean Long. The error count is pretty low for 34 minutes of the match gone. Good retention of the football by both sides so far. Here's Hall again. Gilmore over the top and low down Nathan McAvoy. Busby. Oh, Hilton again, and the power of that tackle jolting the ball out of Busby's arms. Here's an opportunity now for England, but it's all spurned because the referee has ruled a forward pass. Another one.
Well, it's gone begging, hasn't it? Hilton has really put it himself about. Busby couldn't handle it. You can see the ball just eventually going forward, but well, I'm not so sure about that. Maybe the momentum rule will come into force.
Well, certainly Holroyd, who threw the pass, overran the path of the football.
It appeared that way from the high shot, didn't get away with it. That's another chance gone begging. It will not be pleasing the English coach Andy Goodway.
Here's Sullivan. We've got 5 minutes or thereabouts of this first half left, and here goes Cunningham. Good driving run into the heart of England territory. Here's Breers, now Harris. This now is Martin Pearson.
And again we see good off-the-ball running by the Welsh team. We'll say that Coach Clyde Griffiths has got them all worked out. They are supporting each other very well, working hard.
Strength there from Roland Phillips, a man who's played in all 14 of the Welsh games since 1991. Lee Breers, I rather fancy that was an attempted drop goal.
It was, but just went away to the right. Pretty long way out.
Got nearer to the corner flag than it did the posts.
Well, they know the importance of maybe getting that 1 point. It'll be a tight affair. Well, I think, if anything, the Welsh forwards perhaps may just tire late in the match. So it's pretty important that the Welsh side get points on the board.
We saw the error count, but apparently, Steve-O, the word from the England camp is that they're a little bit concerned about the way they are retaining possession of the football at the moment. They just want to make sure they get to the end of this first 40 minutes without conceding any more points.
Well, I think they'll be happy with that, because they have not really gone through their complement sets of 6 with a lot of confidence, and there'll be quite a few words of wisdom said at half-time by Andy Goodway, and Clyde Griffiths will be happy with the way that they performed. Welsh only holding a 4-point lead.
Holroyd, a deep kick over the head of Aitchison. Gilmore's after this. Aitchison will pick up in goal. Now, can he get back into the field of play? Yes, he can.
Much better kick there by the standoff Graham Holroyd. That will lift his confidence. Wasn't having the best of days so far. A well-weighted effort there. And for once, the English chase was quite good.
Cowie now for Wales. Jason Critchley is anxious to get back out onto the field of play. Remember, Wales playing with just 12 men. He's in the sin bin. just over 2.5 minutes still to serve, 3 minutes of the half remaining. It's been a good 10 minutes from Wales, the damage limitation exercise. Harris, deep kick over the top, turns broad-bent round.
That's the objective, should I say, and that's a good chase also. Leading the way, the big fella, Roland Phillips, assisted, of course, by Anthony Sullivan.
Here's Sterling.
Now then, can the English halfback pairing of Long and Holroyd get something working now?
Well, there's Holroyd. He misses out Long and finds Andy Hay. Hammond was up to him and in his face very quickly. Gibson also there. Keith Senior, Sean Long, Mark Hilton. He'll drive it in all the time, Hilton. He's a real workaholic when he's fully fit.
Big
Long.
hit, though, from Kieran Cunningham. It was a super ball and all tackle.
Gilmore, the quiet first half. So much expected of him, even though he's only 20 years of age. Malloy did well. Rowley, long ball. Hay. Ball back on the inside will be interesting. That adjudged to have been forward as well.
Well, not the best inside pass. You could see he telegraphed it, and Carl Hammond had left an enormous hole there. And that sort of bounced half forward. There's the incident again. Hay back on the inside, and yeah, you could just see it roll slightly forward.
Gibson takes the tackle. Breers at dummy half. Harris now to Martin Pearson. Missed the last couple of games, Pearson, for Halifax, out injured against Leeds, or since the game against Leeds. Phillips goes without the ball. England have got it back in the shape of Mark Hilton.
Just overran it there, did the big fella Phillips. Big opportunity now.
Long, little dummy, went for the gap. Well closed by Busby. Rowley, Malloy. Malloy spins. No second effort from his colleagues. Rowley, good driving run. He's on his own though, Rowley. He's looking for support. It arrives now in the shape of Holroyd. Out it goes to Sterling. Good strong run from Sterling. Good tackle in the end from Martin Pearson and Paul Aitchison. England though looking to finish this half with a try, but the referee's whistle has gone.
Good play there by Anthony Sullivan. When they were playing the football, you could see all they have to do is get squared on, and that's what Sullivan did. Applied the pressure.
Sterling adjudged to be offside.
And he was. But good work there by the winger. Well, we saw what I've been asking for from the little hooker, Paul Rowley there. Quick play the ball, scampered away, but as Eddie mentioned, there was no support there. Came far too late.
Justin Harris, he showed it to Critchley and took on the entire England defensive line. That's the last action of the first half, and the last action ends with a little flurry of fists. Harris and Senior not too impressed with each other at this moment in time. And Jason Critchley also getting involved in the argument, just back on the field, of course, from his spell in the sin bin. Jason Critchley. Thankfully, the half-time siren arrived at just the right moment. Senior will head off to the dressing room for the half-time talk from his coach Andy Goodway, and Wales will have the same from their coach Clive Griffiths. Well, a match that began really brightly, 16 minutes, and the score was 12-8 in Wales' favour. It went slightly off the boil then, but the Welsh will be well pleased with the situation they have acquired at half-time. 12-8 they lead, the way of Wales, who are leading 12-8 and 2 tries to 1. Players and officials out, just about ready then for the second half. Wales under Clive Griffiths, 9 victories, 5 defeats. I may have misled you in the first half and said 3 defeats, but it actually is 5 defeats. And so he will want to maintain that pretty impressive record with victory here. And whenever it's England, the Welsh always want to win. Holroyd collects the kick-off, and he also collects the tackle from Jason Critchley and company. Now here comes Hilton, outstanding, closing 20 minutes or so of that first half when he came on and replaced Darren Cleary. Andy Goodway will be hoping for more of the same in this second half. Gilmore was quiet, wasn't he? Gilmore, star of the Super League this year, but a quiet first 40.
Well, he had a good opening run, didn't he, in the first couple of minutes, 50 metres downfield, but it's interesting to see that we see the loose forward playing a little bit tighter. He played very wide in the first 40 minutes, and in the opening stanza there you can see that Lee Gilmore was hunting for the ball down the middle, so a change of tactics perhaps by Andy Goodway.
England then will hunt now for the mistake from the Welsh, and we're watching here emerging England, of course, and some of the best young talent in the business. And talking of young talent, Joe Lydon, the game's technical director, has hosted a national player development camp this week for under-15s at the Ampleforth College in York. Coaches like Dean Bell, Kevin Tamati, Nick Halafihi and Howard Cartwright have been taking the youngsters. Top gun apparently was Chev Walker, but tragically there was a young man, Kevin Till, injured in the last session of the week. He plays for Castleford Panthers and apparently he has broken his leg rather badly. He's in the Northallerton Hospital. He's watching this match today on Sky Sports, and we wish him, on behalf of all the coaches and Joe Lydon and us on Sky Sports, all the very best for his recovery.
Offside on the blind side. It's a bit of a relief now, as you can see clearly that the rain is beginning to team down, which won't help matters, and perhaps will play into the hands of the Welsh side.
Maybe so. Malloy with the drive for England. He won't want to be on the losing side. This is international captain's debut. There he is again at dummy half. He finds Long. Long on then to Hilton. Let's hear what was said in the dressing rooms at half-time. Here's Angela.
Well, you can probably imagine Wales are delighted with their first half. They think they did really well to cope without conceding much with 2 injuries and sin binning. They want more of the same, and as far as they're concerned, they're starting from 0-0 here. The English want Andy Goodway is basically telling his team to control the ball better. They feel they can play much better than this, but they feel that defence will win them this game.
Thanks, Angela. High kick, well fielded by Aitchison.
Much better chase as well, so that's obviously been a key factor by Andy Goodway. Now they've spoilt it all yet again by being too eager off the mark. A big substitute, Mark Hilton, getting himself around, and you could also see that they weren't squared at the play of the ball. Little things like that just eat away at your confidence and gives the opposition the chance to build on theirs.
This new AutoQuest Stadium, once of course known as Norton Park in this part of the world, has staged 3 internationals, the last almost 20 years ago, and Wales have featured in every one of them. 1978 they beat France here 29-7, they lost to England 15-7, and then they lost to France 21-7, and Clive Griffiths was a substitute in that third international that was held here.
Well, again we see just a simple error by the hooker Paul Rowley interfering with Cowie trying to get up and play the ball. Clive Griffiths will be quite happy, I'm sure. He looks quite tense. It's the short time that he's had his charges. He's certainly done a fine job.
Hammond, and that's a good charging run from Busby.
He's had a fine game, hasn't he, the big second rower, not only in defence, but he's been running onto the football with a lot of gusto.
This is Martin Hall now. One thing about the Welsh development, Steve-O, is that they have actually got a team here that they can be proud of. Pearson, though, having said that, has lost it.
Put the mockers on him, I'm afraid.
Always do.
Long ball out wide.
But there was always a fear, wasn't there, Steve-O, about the Welsh and the national side, that the players just simply wouldn't come through on the conveyor belt. But obviously Clive Griffiths has looked into the family trees of many of his players, and he's got the basis of the Welsh side here. And with a Super League franchise maybe heading down to the South Wales area, either Swansea or Cardiff, where we are next weekend, well, then the conveyor belt will really get going, I fancy.
Well, I think it's vital that we have a team back in Wales. Remember, before, we've always had the problems between the Rugby League and the Rugby Union. Of course, the brick wall has fallen down now.
Well, that's the major difference, isn't it, between the Cardiff Blue Dragons and the Bridgend teams that were formed a few years ago. The difference now is that the wall is down, as you so rightly say.
Of course, and it's not a bad thing, because the Rugby Union players are getting paid these days, so there's no stigma attached to anyone wanting to come across the divide and join the 13-a-side. And I think
that's a mistake from Holroyd.
Well, he's not having the best of days, is he? So much was expected from the standoff. Graham Holroyd, you see, he took his eyes off the football. Not the best thing to do on a slippery day. To be fair, the Leeds player has had a fine season.
Just let me interrupt you, Steve-O. We've got Hull and Huddersfield coming up on Friday at Gateshead as Super League resumes its roadshow. And then we're into South Wales for next weekend. Warrington against Castleford at Cardiff. And the following evening, Sunday at 6:30, Sky Sports 1 enjoy Wigan Saints with us from the Vetchfield in Swansea. And that, I think, will just point up the fact that Swansea and Cardiff and the South Wales area is alive and well and fancying a little bit of Super League.
Well, another good run there by Dean Busby. It would have been forward anyway. Just panicked a little bit and did all the good work, but he really has put himself about. He's been one of the stars so far of this game. Second rower, Dean Busby. I must say, we've done some travelling, Eddie, over the past couple of weeks.
Oh, yes, your shoes are worn out, Steve-O.
Oh, my legs are as well.
You're pedalling that bike. This is Rowley. Hammond gets to him. Just to complete the picture about the Welsh development, the Cardiff Academy team, by the way, in a pre-match curtain raiser here at Widnes today, beat the Gateshead Academy side. So it's going pretty well down in the valleys.
Not for the English side, I'm afraid. That was on the last.
I wonder if we'll ever see Cardiff and Gateshead in the Super League.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I'd like to have a few shillings that we will. Of course, they've done a fine job up in Gateshead. Over 5 years now, they've had a development officer up there, and he certainly is working hard. And
Mick Hogan is his name.
He's done a fine job, hasn't he, as Michael? And of course, we don't have to explain to any of the viewers that the hotbed of rugby, never mind which code it is, there's a big conveyor belt down in the valleys, and that's why we need a team in the Super League.
Harris does well, gets the ball away to Pearson. On his inside is Sullivan. And Clive Sullivan, it's good scrambling defence from the English, Sterling and Broadbent. Breers puts the kick in, but it's far too deep. Won't be happy with that.
Well, he was put under pressure. Good work, though, by Pearson. And there you see the fullback, Gary Broadbent, realising that the little halfback was setting up for the kick. He's had a fine little match, though, Lee Breers.
Roland Phillips, number 16, there in the tackling for Wales. We noticed in the first half he was placed on report. The word from Jeff Berry from Rugby Football League, the referees director, is that he will be liaising with the Welsh Rugby Union regarding Roland Phillips and the English Rugby Union, because he plays for London Welsh. He will be discussing the on-report business with their authorities as well.
Well, maybe it may get lost in the mail, eh?
I just had to make the point because we thought he might have had license to do whatever he wanted out there, but obviously he hasn't. 10 minutes of this second half gone or thereabouts.
Again, not the best kick. It's amazing that youngsters that come in onto the international scene, it's a big ask at times. It's not an easy situation.
It isn't, and it's not an easy situation, I would imagine, for a young man who was named as captain of the English side, only then to be ruled out because of injury. So Steve Blakely must be a frustrated fellow. but maybe not so. He's sat alongside Angela Powers.
Obviously, Steve, a bit disappointed not to be out there.
Yeah, it's a big disappointment missing the game today, and especially, being captain of the side, so I'm really disappointed at missing out.
What are your thoughts on this game so far then?
I think it's been like, what I expected. It's been a tough, hard game. Both sets of forwards have been going at each other pretty tough, and I think the next goal is going to be important. I think we need to get the next goal.
It could come from Wales, because this is Anthony Sullivan. He releases the pass, it went backwards. Martin Hall, Cunningham just shrugs the challenge from Broadbent away. Good strong run from Broadbent. That's the last tackle. Here now is Harris. Harris, out wide it goes. Bounces off. Carl Hammond does the English defence. That was Gibson. Back to Neil Cowie. Hilton does well. Cowie keeps it going, still on the last. Harris has a look, hoists the bomb. Harris is after it, and Gibson came in. Put a good tackle in on Gary Broadbent.
Good take, good tackle. Really up for it, both of them there. But tremendous play by the Welsh side, instigated by the little halfback Lee Breers. Well, he's certainly getting over the top of his opposite number, Sean Long, at the moment.
Well, we rudely interrupted Angela Powers and Steve Blakely. Let's go back to them.
OK, Steve, do you think that you might have underestimated the Welsh somewhat?
No, we don't underestimate the Welsh at all. We prepared, really hard for this game. We knew there was going to be a tough side, and we thought it was going to go to the wire.
So what do you think England can do now? What should they do now?
Well, obviously score the next try.
Thanks very much for that, Steve.
He's getting a little bit excited out there, and perhaps it just needs it. He's going to somewhat of a lull, but neat little kick there by Sean Long. Certainly got 40-50 metres downfield. Hoping now that the Welsh will come up with the mistake. That can only be applied by the pressure, I'm sure, by the emerging England. Words of wisdom also being handed out to the little halfback.
Darren Fleary returns, and the man he replaces is the captain, Steve Malloy. Hammond with the run from the base of that Welsh scrum. Breers gets it away to Skerrett. Good defence.
It's been a good feature of the Welsh outfit today is also their eagerness to get on with and playing the ball quickly. Caught the English defence a few times, especially in and around that ruck.
Here's Busby, flicks the pass away to Hall. Back on the inside it comes again. Harris, good ball to Cowie. Open space for Cowie. Looks over the shoulder. Second phase of attack was a little slow in coming. Now they've formed. This is Breers. Here now is Gibson. Out wide it goes to Critchley, aiming for the corner. Wonderful tackle though from Francis Cummins. Sensational tackle, and no wonder Sean Long goes to him and Keith Senior and rubs his head.
Beautiful passing movement. Critchley set off for the line, and Cummins, beautiful low tackle. Cowie, who's had an outstanding match as well. Good support play. All came about, as I mentioned, from the quick play of the ball by the Welsh side. So quick, in fact, that no support was there, and it was left to Francis Cummins to save the day.
Referee penalising Carl Hammond. He didn't pack down at the scrum in correct fashion. Wouldn't put his head in the scrum, and the loose forwards have to bind before the ball comes out.
Well, could this be the turning point that the emerging England side need? And I just get the impression, Eddie, that a try is what this game needs as well.
Yes, it does. It's a real slog at the moment. Some really big hits out there. You have to be impressed with those. Rowley at dummy half. Off he goes. Penalty count pretty level, isn't it? Emerging England with just the one extra. Here's Rowley again. Hammond gets to him. He releases the ball to Fleary, who releases the ball to nobody. Broadbent will have to pick it up. They're back on halfway, England. Good chase by Gibson. Now Long. Great run from Sean Long. Just caught by the shirt by Iestyn Harris. Rowley. Broadbent. Holroyd. Wide it goes to Johnson from Wigan. That's the last tackle. They went on the power play. Johnson caught in possession.
Not a bad option either. And there's a swinging arm. It's Mark Hilton that'll be spoken to. Swinging left hand. Fullback Paul Aitchison just looks at the referee. And it's silly things like that yet again. They've got themselves into a good position to try and apply the pressure. Lack of concentration, lack of discipline.
So Welsh hooker Cunningham restarts and finds Skerritt. Skerritt takes the tackle. Here now is Cowie. He gets the ball away to Harris. Little sidestep. Andy Hay wouldn't be fooled. Takes the tackle, Harris. Oh, and then he's
got to be a
impeded.
penalty. Well, it's got to be a penalty, hasn't it? Andy Hay just wouldn't release the Welsh wizard, Justin Harris. Second attempt there. Well, it's been a tough encounter, and points are desperate, but I think they'll go to the touchline with this one. They do.
Andy Hay there, who gave away the penalty. He really has come on in leaps and bounds under Graham Murray at Headingley this year. Now Sullivan. Always the expectancy of a great try from Sullivan. Skerritt drives the ball in hard. They are 15 metres short of the English line. It's with Cowie.
Nice set move back on the inside, going down the channel where they were playing the football.
Here's Hall. Looks forward to Skerritt, and the referee agrees.
Just a little bit too late in coming there. Or should I say, offloading. See Martin Hall there, trying to attract the defence to him. They didn't go. And that's a bad mistake too, when you're on the verge of applying that pressure.
Well, Paul Davidson likes to give it a go. Oh, Senior went without the ball, and the referee has given the knock on against the England man.
Slippy conditions, but really at this level and with the talent that's out there, not the best pass, and you can see just never had it in his arms.
Keith Senior with 10 tries this season, a Challenge Cup winner of course, 10 tries in the Super League. Only Francis Cummins has scored more, his England teammate, but it's Wales with Breers. Great tackle from Senior. Hall, Harris, Gibson, Aitchison. Welsh looking to unlock this England defence. They won't do it like that. Aitchison losing the ball.
Trying to get the arms free to offload, and you can see there, there's a big second row as Simon Horton came to him. The ball was always going to be ricocheted away. First error today.
Here's Fleary. Skerritt gets to him. Rowley to Hilton.
Fleary
Some big beefy boys out there at the moment in that front row. Hilton, Fleary, Skerritt, Cowie. Tackles are going in. It's real cut and thrust between the packs of forwards. Good ball from Holroyd to Broadbent.
Good combination with the fullback there, but you mentioned the fact there's some big hits out there, but that's not the way that England need to play it.
Better kick from Holroyd, that though. Slides it through the Welsh defence and finds touch.
Gave himself plenty of time on the blind side. Quick thinking. That'll help build his confidence, but really England can't afford just to match it out in a big forward battle. They need to get the ball out wide. They've got plenty of skill out there and plenty of speed, but I'm afraid we haven't seen the silky skills of the three quarters on the England side as yet.
Let's go back.
And another penalty at the scrum. The scrum broke up before the ball left the scrum.
There you see he's explaining. You've got to stay formed until the ball has come out the back of the loose forward's feet. And there's about 3 for the referee John Connolly to select from there.
Skerritt led from the front for so many years, of course, for Wigan, Kelvin Skerritt, alongside this fellow Neil Cowie.
I get the impression that the Welsh side just aiming towards those sticks, maybe to set up for a one-pointer.
Harris, Aitchison, loves to chime into the line, the Welsh fullback. Dumped to the ground, though, on that occasion. Pearson, here's Martin Hall. That ball comes free. England have got it back. Broadbent gets away from Hammond, gets away from Harris. Breers gets him to the floor.
Good job as well, because Broadbent's got plenty of pace.
Here's Davidson.
That's much better, running onto the ball at pace. Quick play the ball is what's needed now. There's a lift in the crowd and also a lift in the players.
Paul Davidson, one of 7 former witness men on this field. Gilmore of Wigan. Moved a mile off the mark then. Pushed actually by Kieran Cunningham. Good tackle by Harris, and Horton's lost it. Knock on.
Far too many mistakes. And it was the impact there. He was always losing the football well before Damien Gibson came into the fray.
Well, time for your votes on the man of the match. 0891 33 33 13. Your votes wanted now, and you could be on your way to that first test. Great Britain, New Zealand at the McAlpine Stadium. England could be on their way to a try here. This is Johnson. He gets it away to Sterling. Out wide it goes to Gilmore. There was a man out wide on the overlap. Holroyd might get it out to him now. Long is there. Long for the line. Just hauled back. Good defence now from Wales.
Bad mistake by Jason Critchley there on the first tackle. Lost the football.
Here's Hilton again.
Quick play the ball out wide. The Welsh defence is stretched.
And it's coming this way with Holroyd. Here's Davidson. Forward pass again.
Dearie me. Why they went for the short option when it was screaming for the long ball yet again. Holroyd was in a good position, and you could see there 3 men were already waiting for Davidson, and a better option would have been the ball out wide.
Yes, Simon Horton was standing in acres of space. If he'd have got the ball out to him, it would surely have been an England try. In that scrum, in the Welsh jersey, number 11, is Dean Busby, one of 3 men on this field who actually have played for both England and Wales. There's another, Jason Critchley.
Well, I must say that Dean Busby, the big second row, has impressed me.
Played well, hasn't he?
Sure has. His work rate has been outstanding.
There he is. Oh, we've put the mockers on him. He's dropped it.
I'm not surprised. The way that Mark Hilton came in, and he contacted.
And Fleary was there as well. The 2 big hitters of the English pack of forwards. He has really put himself about Mark Hilton, hasn't he? He's obviously seen this as a real lifeline to his future international prospects, and he has really caught the eye.
Well, you mentioned about that poor young fellow that broke his leg, and let's hope that he does recover, but just goes to show you that that man that you're talking about, Mark Hilton, had some horrendous injury problems, but he's overcome them, and he's playing well for his country here.
He is. Davidson takes the tumble in the end. Rowley, Holroyd, Long. Showed it to Holroyd, hung on. Well,
1-on-1, it was reefed away, and that's why it's play on. It was quick thinking. A jinking run, but even though you go in the jinking run by Sean Long, you could see that the rest of the English support wasn't there. There he goes, and it was the big man, Kelvin Skerritt.
Here's Busby. Cunningham, Critchley.
Now the key again is the combination of Breers and Harris.
Harris, there he is. Lovely ball, Pearson. Just fall down, great tackle from Gilmore that. Last tackle it was also for Wales. Breers will drill the kick and look to find touch, and he does just. Judged to perfection, and look.
Calm things down, that's what he's saying. No need to apply the pressure to yourself. It was an intelligent kick. He certainly impressed me as Breers today.
He's played well. The call was 1 minute. Must be a code in the Welsh camp. Must have been plod to the scrum.
But it looks
They've
as
slowed
though
it right down, haven't they, the Welsh?
they have, and that's why England really don't have to get involved in the forward battle. They've got to try to keep this ball alive. There seems to be a problem to the Welsh side. I think that Martin Pearson is carrying an injury. Took a knock in that last one.
Well, he has been out for the last two injured. For Halifax is Davidson. Good strong run from Paul Davidson. Known, of course, to Andy Goodway from his time at Oldham.
Well, he had half a chance there to offload, but again, poor support play.
Gilmore. England running down a blind alley. Rash tackle. Good defence again from the Welsh here. Holroyd with the kick under pressure from Busby. Aitchison will backtrack and pick that up in his own 10-metre zone. Now he'll run it back. Fleary's waiting for him. He's dropped it. This is Horton. Horton back to Rowley. And Rowley gets across the line. Did he ground it? No.
Held up.
Held up. Super defence from the Welsh. Aitchison gifted the opportunity, and it's Gibson who's underneath it.
Well, that is a wonderful effort there by Damien Gibson. A bad mistake, gifted the ball to the emerging England side. Aitchison had it knocked out from Fleary. It was a big hit. Out it comes. Horton set sail, and it looked for all the world that the hooker was there, and Gibson rolls him over.
From the scrum, of course, England had head and feet because he was held up over the line. It wasn't on the last tackle. Rowley has been withdrawn after that, and he has been replaced by Danny Orr. There he is, number 17. Danny Orr going into the acting halfback position, so he's taken over the hooking duties from Paul Rowley. This is Long. That's Johnson. An amazing incident that, Gibson on Rowley. Halifax teammates, of course. And Gibson with the strangest Welsh accent you will ever have heard, with a nice Australian slang. This is Senior. Senior with strength, and he's just held up short. Critchley was on his back. Horton, looping pass. Long dabs it through. Well fielded, but a knock on. Knock on against the Welsh, and it was Dean Busby.
Neat little chip
here to England.
Neat little chip through there, and you can see quite clearly that Busby did go for this football. Well spotted by John Connolly, the referee. Well, a lot of pressure, and this is where the emerging England side have to keep this ball alive. Try to run the Welsh off their feet.
It's with Long, Holroyd, Senior, back to Holroyd. There's Broadbent. Broadbent trying to get round the outside of Pearson with Sullivan. They managed to haul him down. Paul Sterling is the man standing at dummy half. And Sterling takes them on his own, inches England further nearer that Welsh try line. Danny Orr now to Holroyd. Hilton's done a wonderful job. This is Davidson, and Davidson crashes through and scores. Paul Davidson, nothing wrong with the try, says John Connolly. Crash bang wallop from Paul Davidson through the cover and over the line for the try, and England get level with Wales.
It's amazing what you can do if you run onto the football at full speed. Once the defence is off balance, you can hit them through. Quick play the ball, lovely long ball out from Orr onto Holroyd, and then it was Long that just fed the final pass. Davidson did very well. The Welsh were stretched. We were shouting for the long ball out wide all day, and this fella crashes through. Fine try, well taken. Sliding defence was slow to move across. That's why two beautiful long passes. Finished with a short one. Split the defence. Busby, probably one of the few times that he's missed a tackle. And England are well and truly back in it.
Clive Griffiths has seen his men cling to their 4-point lead. It has just evaporated, courtesy of the try of Davidson, his first try of the year. He hasn't yet scored for his club St Helens, and Holroyd here can inch England ahead, and that is what he has done. Well, a sweet moment there for Paul Davidson. He began his career on this ground. Andy Goodway, of course, got him going at Oldham, and that is a sweet moment for him to score a try here.
They see two quick pair of hands, and you can see the huge gap that was in it. They were very slow. It's a tired defence there. And you can see the loose forward, Carl Hammond, had come out of that straight line. And there was no chance that Busby could stop that man. That's a fine try, well worked.
So, England now have a 2-point advantage. And Cowie will not want to be on the losing side against England.
Full credit, though, to the England coach, Andy Goodway. That's the major reason why I feel he's brought off Paul Rowley and put on Danny Orr, so that it's a quick service from the play the ball, get away from the mess around the ruck. He obviously felt that they were being sucked into a tight, solid game.
Don't forget to get your votes in for the man of the match. You've got about 10 minutes in which to vote, and you could be on the way to the Great Britain against New Zealand Test match on the 31st of October at the McAlpine Stadium in Huddersfield. Well, a good kick from Iestyn Harris, but they need more now than simple touch finders, the Welsh.
Well, they've got to start playing the ball open, though, to their credit. They've worked very, very hard, and even though they're 2 points adrift, I must say they've been the more adventurous of the two sides. Doesn't always work out that way, and it's, we mentioned at the half-time break, Eddie, that I felt that Wales perhaps may struggle, especially in the forwards, and it looked a tired defence there when Davidson went through.
Cummins, top scorer in the Super League, Francis Cummins, tracked by his opposite number, Anthony Sullivan.
I must say, you can never...
Johnson, great run. Paul Johnson. Damien Gibson again gets to him. Well, he might be Aussie by birth, Damien Gibson, but he is really putting his shoulder to the wheel here for the Welsh. Malloy, the captain, back for the last 10 minutes.
Quick play the ball from Malloy, and Wales are in trouble yet again.
That's Sean Long taking the ball to beneath the Welsh posts. Will they fancy a one-pointer? No, they won't. Holroyd somehow hangs on. It went backwards. Play on. Sterling too deep.
Far too strong by the Leeds winger. Put under a lot of pressure there. Ball out wide. Graham Holroyd couldn't get it first time. I was just about to say that you can't write off the Welshmen. They've still got plenty of fight in them, especially with the likes of Lee Breers and Iestyn Harris out there.
Well, they held the lead from the 16th minute to the 68th, and now they have 7 minutes to try and rescue this match. They now have come up with a knock-on, and England will have head and feed at this scrum.
Bit of an injury picked up there by Iestyn Harris, and Critchley lost that ball with the impact.
So this Thompson ESG International is just edging now towards England here at the AutoQuest in Widnes as Fleary drives the ball in again, and Skerritt and Hall wrestle him to the ground. Danny Orr is the dummy half. England have upped the pace noticeably in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Gilmore.
They're looking far more enthusiastic now, and as I mentioned, the Welsh defence struggling to get back. Getting to a straight line.
Johnson did well. This is Orr again. Back it goes to Broadbent. England looking for the coup de grace.
Keep your eye on Gilmore out wide.
Danny Orr again. Carl Hammond plonks the jersey well and truly over the back of his head. Holroyd to Long. One-pointer from Long. I think he's got it. He has the extra point. That could be critical for Sean Long and England.
Nice one-pointer too. Quick thinking there by the little halfback, who struggled to overcome his opposite number, Lee Breers, throughout the game, but when it matters most, he was cool, calm and collected. He took it well. Vital point, that.
Well, Andy Coach, the good way. Andy Goodway, the English coach, is also, of course, the Great Britain coach. He lost last year's series against the Australians 2-1, but he has in his CV a 2012 win at Old Trafford, which must be the highlight. Now he is forming his plans for New Zealand this autumn, and I wonder whether any of the players on show here today, Steve-O, have given him a little gentle nudge. I'm sure Mark Hilton has.
Yeah, I think he'll be quite pleased with some all-round performances from both sides.
Cleary giving Kelvin Skerritt a facial.
He certainly knows that we've got a lot of depth, as we see the facial yet again. A lot of depth, especially in the half-back position. Lee Breers and Sean Long, of course.
Pretty well covered round the hooking area too.
Yeah, I must say that I was disappointed with Paul Rowley's effort. Didn't see the cracker jack or the jack-in-the-box efforts that we've seen throughout Super League, but they certainly won't just take this game into account.
Oh no, it'll be the season's endeavours that will clinch it for whoever. But certainly he has, I'm sure, got his first 15 names on the list, and now everything else maybe is up for grabs.
As we mentioned earlier, the work rate of Dean Busby certainly has been impressive too.
Harris drags Pearson into it, but the English defence knows they're in the last 5 minutes of this match and they want to hang on to this victory. Last tackle here for Wales. Harris, that kick is far too deep.
Bit disappointed with that. Justin Harris off the side of the boot, but good positioning by Gary Broadbent, the full back. He's certainly done nothing wrong to dent his chances in the future.
Wales will look for the mistake. Gareth Stevens misses the tackle on Steve Malloy. Danny Orr, Fleary. Oh, bounced off the chest of Pearson then. A few too many missed tackles really for the Welsh. Oh, Horton puts the ball down. That was the mistake that the Welsh were seeking.
Good work by Busby. They talk about getting into their face, and he's done that all day, hasn't he? Busby, the second rower. Bit of a collision with Simon Horton. They've kept a pretty strong hold on the big striding second rower. Well, this could be the moment for the Welsh.
Breers, no, it won't be. Gibson, well, he's had a pretty good game up to that point, particularly in defence, but that is cruel on the first tackle.
Well, he had eyes on the football. You could see he was following the ball into his chest, and it just lost him.
Bounced off the chest and out of his grasp. Well, they got the mistake from England, and England have produced the mistake from Wales.
Good work by the loose forward, Lee Gilmore there, knowing that possession is vital. Time ticking away, so nothing fancy needed. That 3-point lead. Oh, he's lost it.
He has. Well, it's dropsy on both sides.
Under no pressure whatsoever. Just he hits the ground and loses possession. Well, that really should have been up the jumper time by the emerging England side, and big kick downfield, good chase, and I think it would have been curtains for the Welsh, but they are back in it again.
They have, and remember, it's just the 2 points advantage between the two. Here's Gibson. He hangs on this time. Senior with a good tackle. Oh, it's 3 points. That's right. I thought you were saying it was 3 minutes then, Steve-O. But 3 points the difference. Forgot the drop goal. Here's Skerritt. A try will do anyway for the Welsh. They know that. They're certainly in tune with the score. Breers, Harris. Hammond is broken through. Is this the moment for Wales?
Oh, great defence there. The sweeper was Sean Long.
Harris to Busby. The England defence has remarshalled itself.
Oh,
this is the last one.
Injury to Keith Senior.
Breers kick into the in-goal area, off the feet of Sterling, and it's a drop out from underneath the post. It came off Sterling's foot.
Didn't want to take any chances. Just about to bounce just inside. He's not happy with it though, Lee Briers. He's had a fine game, and I'm sure he would have pleased his coach, Clive Griffiths, but tense moments.
Yes, he desperately wants the win. Called on the referee to stop the clock then, which he did. The official timekeepers will add whatever they think should be added.
This is the final throw now of the dice.
Harris back on the inside to Pearson. Loses it. Knock on, the referee will play. Must have been one on either side there.
I think this will be head and feed to the England side.
It is.
And the seconds ticking away. And it was a good hit, wasn't it, by Lee Gilmore that saved the day. They've lost their opportunity, I feel, of the Welsh side now.
Holroyd. There's the siren. And England have won this Thompson ESG International. Disappointment for Clive Griffiths, the Welsh coach. But delight for England. And won in the second half by Paul Davidson's try, improved by Holroyd, and then Sean Long with the drop goal sealed the issue. 12-8, the Welsh led at half-time, but just the one try in the second half, and England lead and win by 15 points to 12. Disappointment then for the Welsh Dragon, but the English Lion, in the shape of Andy Goodway, will be well pleased with his side's efforts in the 80 minutes, particularly the 40 minutes of the second half in particular. So England emerge as the victors here at Widnes. 15-12 have won the international here at the AutoQuest Stadium in Widnes by 15 points to 12. They won it really with a determined effort in the second half, restricting Wales to just the 12 points that they'd scored in the first 40. Long with the drop goal, sealed it after Davidson came in with a great try. 15-12 to emerging England. Now, who was your man of the match? Busby of Wales, 35%. Long and Hilton not far behind. They had fine games, particularly Mark Hilton. But Dean Busby of Wales wins your votes as the man of the match. Here he is now with Angela.
Okay, Dean Busby, congratulations, man of the match, but didn't go the way you wanted it to.
No, I didn't. We lost so many balls. We didn't complete our 66. That's why we lost it. We just never had the ball.
Now, it was really a war of attrition out there, wasn't it? There was non-stop work all the way.
Yeah, that's what it's like, international matches, you know. First 20 of the first half, first 20 second half. And, you know, it was a hard game, the fast game. And the ball was wet and, you know, we spilled so much.
Well, it seemed to be perfect in the first half. You really kept it going. You must have thought this could have been your game.
Yeah, I thought we was going to win the game. Our defence was superb. On their line, on our own line, we held out, you know, for sets of 6. But like I say, yeah, I would say we lost the game ourselves, you know.
So what do you think it came down to in the end? Because it's really the last 10-15 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was spilled ball. That's what it comes down. You know, we lost. I keep saying we lost a lot of possession, and the more you defend, the more tired you get, and that's what it comes down to. You know, fatigue.
Well, congratulations on the man of the match anyway. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So, as well as you thought it would do in the first half, though, did it?
No, Welsh came out all guns firing. They really set about us today. It was a good performance for Welsh. I was a bit surprised how fierce they came out today, but we stuck to his guns and we ended up winning in the last 10 minutes, and that's the main point.
What was it that gave you the edge at the end, you think?
I think it was just pure determination. We wanted it more than they did, you know. This badge on his chest means a lot to a lot of these players, and we're playing for test places at the end of the season, and hopefully a few of us have made that.
Yeah, there was a feeling that you never really gave up at any point, did you?
No, it means a lot to us, this game, and we showed out there today that it's an 80-minute game and we performed for 80 minutes.
And of course you were there to get your place in the test team for Great Britain as well. Do you think you've done yourself well in that sort of score?
I hope so. It's every rugby player's dream, so hopefully I'll get my test position at the end of the season.
Thanks very much, Keith.
My pleasure.